Hello, encouragers. I'm Rebecca Scott, wife, mother of 4, author, and owner and designer of Rebecca Scott Designs. I'm here to encourage you, to make you feel that I can do this spirit each and every day of our awesome journeys to fulfill our many important roles. I believe we are fully equipped to execute, and I will provide as much knowledge, practices, and systems as I can to help you understand just what I know you can do. Execute. We got this. Hello, encouragers. On this week's podcast, I want to talk about simplicity. What a beautiful word. It rolls off the tongue. It sounds great. You know, someone who knows the most about simplicity, who doesn't believe she does, but the moment you walk into her home, it's simple and it's beautiful and there's a sense of peace? It's Angie, my executive assistant. She lives and breathes it, and she even listened to other podcasts that talk a lot about simplicity. And I thought, well, in my stage of life and where I am at with business, 4 kids, 1 husband, farm, 20 people on my awesome RSD team, how do I simplify things? And I do have some things and some hacks that I do because I couldn't possibly do it at full speed without simplifying a few of those things. And so I thought it would be great to share some of those because some of you can relate to all the kids, all the different roles and all of that. So I've been in business for 15 years now. I have the 4 kiddos. I work from home. I knew I had to simplify a few things. So here's about my top 9 actions, tips, or tricks to keep things simple. I do have to do a side note here. My mom says that some simplifying comes naturally to me, which I don't know, but you know how mom is. She really thinks that. She says that my super skill was always taking large concepts and breaking them down and just acting on them. And I would agree that I definitely act on things before I think too hard about the details. I definitely act, but it's not anything that I couldn't teach you guys how to do and how to simplify large concepts into little simple steps. So my top 9 actions, tips, or tricks. Number 1 is I plan breakfast Monday through Friday. Really boring, but I hang it on the inside of our cabinet, and that's they get what they get. So like literally it says, I got to think this through. So Thursday is cereal because I just bought cereal on Wednesday, and we know the cereal box will only last until Thursday. And I only buy 1 box, which is a whole other subject because cereal is a ripoff and it has no nutritional value, no matter how good and how many oats they say it has. So they get cereal on Thursdays. They get French toast on Fridays. On Monday, it's oatmeal. On Tuesday, it's scrambled eggs. And on Wednesday, it's breakfast burritos. That's it. I might change it up, but it's always my go-to, and then it just simplifies the breakfast time, and they know, like, I'm not going to like breakfast on Friday morning. They always like breakfast on Friday morning because it's French toast, but some of the mornings they don't like, but they know that's what I'm serving, so that's what they get. Here's another big one. I don't keep a planner. What? Okay, so before you tune me out, I don't keep a planner because it ended up being one more thing that I had to fill out, and it overwhelmed me to look at a big binder rather than a single piece of paper. So I have 1 sheet, and I call it my weekly agenda. Angie, my executive assistant, made it for me. It's literally listed out Monday through Friday, and it has the bullet points for each day that I naturally do with my blocking. So, for example, my Monday says lunch, supper, and snack, so I plan those out. It says call Angie at 9. It says every dollar, that's my budget app. It says the Instagram and the Snapchat story, that reminds me that I got to record something for Nikki. I have the Encourager Mentor Minute, so I need to record that. And then I do interfacing back to back, which is something in my business. Then I have about 5 to 6 blank lines that I can fill in for Monday that I know will be coming on my calendar. And I do that for every day. Tuesday has its own plan, Wednesday has its own plan. They all have lunch, snack, and supper on them, so I can fill those out. And then at the end of the sheet, it has other tasks in the big picture. It just helps me simplify things and not run around with a planner and transfer things. And the best part is, this is the best part. On Friday, I print the new sheet for the next week, fill out anything that I didn't get done that week, but then I tear it up. Yes, I tear it up. Mission accomplished. Done. I will never buy a planner again. The Encourager will not be creating planners. The Encourager might create this weekly agenda, but we will not be creating planners because this is my plan and I love it. So number 3 is I sort our house about every 6 weeks. I mean, clutter just happens. Life happens. But about every 6 weeks, we purge our bedrooms, our bathrooms, and our living areas. I walk around with a basket and a garbage sack, and I ask the kids to put anything they no longer use or that they need to throw away in each of them. Honestly, we have done it so frequently that it doesn't take us that long to purge quick, and the kids are less attached to things they don't use. And we also ask them to ask themselves, did I play with this since we last purged? Because it's only been 6 weeks. So I can be like, I think you were on the fence about that the last time. But there's no guilt to them. I don't say I think it's time to get rid of it. They get to make the decision because I know it's going to happen again in 6 weeks. So it'll just impress upon themselves. I don't have to have any guilt or anything. They know when they want to get rid of it. And if they do want to get rid of it, we ask, should it be trashed or should it be donated? And the kids are now really into the donate part because they know that it benefits other people. It also helps me because I get to see what clothes they are outgrowing and what toys they're actually playing with so that I can also shop for Christmas coming up or whatever it might be, kind of knowing where they're gearing. Like Ivy is always art supplies. I'm still trying to figure out Rosalind's lane, and Pixon is always stuffed animals. But it helps me kind of know what's going on in their personal lives as well with what they're willing to donate or give. And it keeps my drawers more peaceful. Getting dressed in the morning is worshipful because I am clothing the temple that God has given me. And I do like that. I'm a creator, so I like to create, but I like to feel organized. I don't like to feel like my clothes are everywhere. So I do color coordinate them in my closet, and it's much easier to find things when I've been purging every 6 weeks. I also don't get overwhelmed in my home with any of the unneeded items, and so I can relax easier in the evenings. When you're looking out and you're like, oh, the house is a mess. How am I possibly supposed to sit here on the couch with my husband and enjoy this episode when all I can think about is everything that's undone? Did I just call you out? Yes. So when I have it picked up about every 6 weeks, I don't feel so much overwhelm in the evenings. Number 4 is I don't enter the kids into activities until they are 9. What? This one was huge. I decided because we live in the country, it's about 20 minutes for us to get anywhere. And the kids were little yet and they were running. All of the running was driving me crazy. To go to T-ball where the child just sat in the outfield and picked the grass anyways. I was like, is this really benefiting anybody? Who am I trying to impress here? Because the child clearly does not like this. My oldest loved it from the time he was 4 years old. So we missed the boat on him. He got to start early. But then I discovered with my second that she really wasn't into it. She would much rather be home coloring, creating, crafting, something like that. Then we would start entering at the age of 9. We told them when you're 9, you get to start choosing what you would like to be in. So we'll introduce them to things even if they don't want to, just to see, if they end up liking it. So Ivy is in piano now, and she will start 4-H. She is 9, and so I do think we want to pick up on a sport for her because she's kind of got a great build, and I think she would be good. So I think we will start basketball in the 3rd grade. But it has been so huge, you guys, because you're not running around to things that maybe don't make a difference in your kid's life, and all of the running just clogs up our brains anyways, and they don't want the running. They want quality time, and they want quantity time. I've talked about that in previous podcasts, that a child doesn't actually want quality time like Disney World or one-on-one. What they actually want is quantity. They want more of your time, which is difficult to hear as a parent, but it's true. We knew that by choosing for them not to be in things until they were 9 was not the worldly way, but it has totally worked for us. It saved us gas money and has fostered sibling relationships. They're very close to each other. And it's been a game changer for the home life being less hectic because we're not always running. Number 5 is I use the Hagen solution for paper organizing. I love this. It's a course you can take. It's by my friend Tiffany Hagen. She's incredible. Our paper can get in the way and it really stresses us out in our home. But ever since I started using the Hagen solution, I have a filing system. I put it right in there. I open it up in the morning and I put it away. There's not a ton of loose papers that hang out in the Scott household because of the Hagen solution. So I highly recommend checking out the Hagen solution with Tiffany. Hey Encouragers, you know that we've changed our platform a little bit for the Encourager in Series 8 here, and we want you to become part of our Encourager groups. It's a monthly coaching that occurs for 5 to 8 members on Friday mornings on the Zoom platform. Please, if you are called to get some real progress in 2019 and be able to track what you've been doing, I want to be there to help in a group setting that will really set you on fire. So join our Encourager group at theencouragerpodcast.com and sign up today to be a part of one of our groups. Number 6 is we do our spousal business agenda every month and we review it on Monday mornings. Sometimes we review it on Sunday at noon after we eat, but we always review it once a week and then we have the meeting once a month. No, this is not always fun. It isn't, you guys. It's an agenda and it's a meeting. You have to sit with your spouse. The last thing you want to do is talk business. Sometimes you just want to talk life and be romantic and be lighthearted, but you do need to have this meeting to be on the same page. And it really has drastically changed things for Nick and I in terms of goal completion because we're on the same page. Like he's like, this is the second month you've mentioned that you want that done. Why are you prioritizing this so much? And then I could step back and say, I don't know. Or maybe I do know, and so that I can tell him. But it helps us both be on the same page for goals. Highly recommended. It is an agenda. It's a PDF that we have on the encouragerpodcast.com. It's on series 3 and it's called the Spousal Business Meeting. I highly recommend downloading it and doing that with your spouse. It's definitely one of my top things of how I simplify our home. Number 7 is I don't check email until after I have done about 3 task-related things. Used to be that I didn't check my email until 11. Now I do check my email a little bit earlier, but I don't do it until I've looked at my weekly agenda that I talked about and do at least 3 task-related things like, okay, call the bank, order that fabric, pick out the dates for the training with the seamstresses. Like I do 3 task-related things before I dive into email because we know sometimes it can be a black hole. And this was such a game changer for me when I stopped checking email first thing. I got so much more done. If you just do that one trick, simplify, tell yourself I'm not checking my email until 10 even, how much more you will get done and how much more accomplished you will feel than in the black hole of email. I plan my marketing about 6 months in advance. And the reason why it simplifies things is because all of my creative thoughts can go into this one promotional calendar. I can write it down there. I can create the item in plenty of time to have it photographed, put some marketing around it, put some content around it. It's so much less stress than creating it and then wanting to sell it in 2 weeks. Planning it out 6 months in advance has really simplified my creative brain and then also my business brain and how I want things to go. And number 9, very simple, but we don't do fundraisers. I take that back. We don't do fundraisers for school, but I may have to start fundraisers for 4-H because it's 4-H and you know how I feel about 4-H. But if I can get away from it, I won't. Like if I can just pay for whatever it is. So instead of doing the fundraisers for school for the PTA, we just write a check to the PTA at the beginning of the year and say, here is our donation. And we do not do fundraisers. They still send the pamphlets home. They're not I'm not really strict about don't even send them home or anything like that. And the kids do kind of fuss a little bit about, well, why can't I have the lanyard with the bouncing tiger, blah, blah, blah. And I remind them, you guys, we could go to the dollar store and get the same thing without pestering any of our family and friends who will now remain our family and friends because we're not doing fundraisers. It's just a simple thing. And it's not mine. A friend of mine recommended it in one of the Encourager workshops, why she doesn't do fundraisers. And I was totally sold on it. And it does totally simplify home life. So these are not listed in an order of importance at all. But it is a list of what keeps me sane in this awesome life that I've been given. Any of these that you can take away, I highly recommend. I know they've worked for me. And if you've got some more ideas on how to simplify our awesome lives, please post them on our Facebook page. That would be so fun. Our Facebook page is called The Encourager. And we would love to see your simplifying tips there. Until next time, Encouragers, we got this.
Hey Encouragers, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you've had the scene where you're crying because there's no way you can meet all the roles in your life, I've been there. I've so been there, but I'm not there anymore. And I know how you can get out of that slump and start executing on all the things that God has equipped you to do. You can pick up my book at equippedtoexecute.com, also on my website at shoprsd.com, and it's also available on Amazon. Thank you for tuning in, Encouragers. Remember to subscribe so it's automatically on your phone, and please rate and review me. We got this, Encouragers.